Alright, everyone. So you want to be a Slayer, right? How to not be a shit Slayer. That's what I'm going to try to explain here today. So, I made a guide a couple months back about how to be a Slayer that's not total dog shit, about when I was like an up-and-coming DPS. So, I have a couple panels of experts here on their classes. We got Volk. Volk, say hi. Never mind, Volk's not saying. Okay, Volk said hi. So, I'm going to be going over Slayer rotation and kind of just how it works in general, and kind of the passives that go along with that. Now, I am not the best Slayer as of right now. That's soon TM. But, at the same time, I'm also, like, probably top 10 on NA right now, on certain dungeons. So, as proven by my title right here, Tyrannicide, I'm second place on the server right now, KT. So, what's the big problem with Slayers that I see mainly? It's the Whirlwind, Overhand, Eviscerate, PBMS combo. Now, for everyone that's not a Slayer main like me, that's this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill. Now, what those skills are completely based around is this thing called propulsion. So, say I were to hit this boss up here with Whirlwind, it'd go on cooldown. And then I hit it with Overhand, which is this skill. So, that would take off a couple seconds of the cooldown on it, so that you can reset it. Whirlwind resets MS, Measured Slice. Measured Slice resets Punishing Blow. Punishing Blow takes 3 seconds off Unsheath. Unsheath is the highest damage skill in Slayer's kit, in terms of single hit damage. Now, you want to get that off as much as possible, but all your damage is really going to be coming from Punishing Blow, Measured Slice, Whirlwind, and Overhand. That's all your damage. Now, I'm going to display kind of how this works and everything really quick. I have my Shinra meter over here. Now, I use Tera Toolbox, which helps with some ping issues and stuff. Skill prediction, NGSP, all that stuff. Pretty standard nowadays. Also, I'm using a bravery buff and nostrums, and I will be using noctiniums for this. Also, I will be popping a food buff. So, to start off, we're gonna go into ICB. In Cold Blood is the burst rotation of Slayer. Now let me kind of display this for y'all here.
Enrage on.
Now I know you guys won't be able to keep up with this at first, because this is a lot of different skills happening in a really quick succession. But if you see what's kind of going on, that Whirlwind I just hit reset the cooldown of Measured Slice. Now, I don't use Unsheath here because I just think it's better to practice without it. It shows like where your real HPMs are, because hitting that big bit of damage kind of makes crab go a little too quick. I consider it, quote, cheating. Now that was a pretty good run. I did about 22.9 million DPS right here. Now, these HPMs are pretty freaking good, especially this Overhand right here. This is a really good Overhand, this is a very solid Measured Slice number, and this is a pretty good PB number. Now, when you are talking about HPMs, in terms of, like, what they should be, anything in PB from 7 to 8 is really good. Now there's a couple slayers that prioritize punishing blow and measured slice over kind of overhand, so that they get the better, like, quote HPMs. But I like to use a lot of overhand. As you see right here, I hit 36 overhands in a minute, which is really good. But there are slayers like I think there's one on VK called Toffee. He uses PBMS and hits like 30 overhands with like 30 whirlwinds and gets like 16 and like 8 or 9 punishing blow, which is a lot of damage. Toffee is a really good slayer. He's probably one of the best HPM slayers out there. Now, you guys might have been seeing me use overhand twice. That's what is called reverse chaining. Reverse chaining is when you can basically use any skill after Savage Strike once. So I could use like Savage Strike, Whirlwind, Eviscerate, and then go into the combo. Or I could double overhand if I get the reset. Now, I use mainly Savage Strike to fill gaps and your fillers and stuff. So your filler skills are Headlong Rush, Whirlwind. They are Heart Thrust. They are Knockdown Strike. Now these are these skills right here. Heart Thrust is probably a really good skill right now because it gives you 10,000 plus ignore for my stats. My stats are about 200,000 amp right now. So that gives me like 5% of that, so 10,000 ignore, which if you hit that right before an unsheath, that gives you an extra like 50 mil damage just from that. So you want to basically use Heart Thrust right before your unsheath, or like kind of time it with your procs of your dragon crits if you have them, like the 1.5 or the 2.0, so that you get the most out of it. And also, if possible, you don't want to delay it too much for your dragon crits to run out. So you want to stack up ICB in your overhand extra power that you're getting, so that you don't lose out on that damage. Now my unsheath does about 220 mil to about 260 mil. There are slayers that do way more damage than I do. Like, I think there's a slayer on EU, his name's AU Tommy, he hits about 300 mil unsheaths. So that's what Heart Thrust will get you pretty much. I have an alt called Sack that hits about 150s. So that's unsheath. So let me show you guys out of burst rotation. Now, out of burst is really important because you're not going to be in ICB for that long. But learning ICB is very important. So I'm going to show you guys out of burst. Now you want to prioritize punishing blow and measured slice in here as much as possible.
Enrage on.
Now you could be risky and take the S Savage Strike into the double overhand. That's what I do. It is a very greedy play in terms of DPS, but it also is kind of important, because if you're not doing that, you're going to kind of lose out on HPM. It is still possible to hit really good overhands with it, but you're just not going to hit like the max numbers. If you guys focus on my bar down there in the bottom, I have it really big so you guys can see. You're gonna see that after every whirlwind, I'm getting resets on measured slice, not full resets, but partial resets. Also, when you're using Eviscerate, you can take off cooldown of Whirlwind. And if you use Overhand Strike, you can take off cooldown of Whirlwind more. Now, these are not bad for out of burst, 26, 25, 12, and 7. That's pretty solid. You should pretty much be hitting this decently, like all the time. Now, there's a dungeon that's an exception to this, and that would be KG normal and CKG. That's because the shield at the end will kind of kill your HPM, so you won't hit the best things in the world. This is actually not that great of an overhand, but out of burst, it's not bad. These are decent HPMs. Like, as I said, I'm not the best Slayer, but I'm just writing this guide to kind of guide you guys in the right direction. So, if you guys have any more questions about Slayers, feel free to DM me on Discord. I am Kingly 6642. Now, yeah, that's pretty much the guide. If you guys have questions like reverse chaining, pretty much you can do anything. Like you could Savage Strike MS overhand, you could Savage Strike Unsheath overhand. It's because there's a hidden like 1 or 2 second buff that you get that allows you to reverse chain. So if you guys want a more in-depth guide of Slayer, I'm gonna have to receive a couple DMs and all that. So if you guys have questions and like, yeah, just message me. I'm free most of the time, so I'll see you guys later, I guess.
And cut.